That's really dope. As you can see, well, this thing's already been really fun to completely rebuild from the second I got. I mean, I guess that's what I got for the price I got it for, which was pretty damn cheap. The blade on it that came with it, this isn't the blade. This is a TCSS heavy blade that I had to bore out the tip part for to fit the parabolic tip. I think that's what's called, right? It's not a bullet tip. I know that. I was thinking about sharpening it, but it's just too hard to sharp. Anyway, yeah. So the blade that came with, I swear to God, it was like 0.99 of an inch, because there was just way too much wiggle room right here. As you can see, I filled in the holes. They're right there. They put the holes there, and on the other side, the opposite side there, they're literally at the lowest and the thinnest points you could possibly put the set screws. So I put thicker regular set screws right here and on the other side there. And even with the other blade, it still was wobbling way too much. I mean, I redid the inside of the blade as far as like putting more insulation and stuff. It was still wobbling inside. It was, well, a little bit, but it was definitely wobbling outside and getting loose really fast. So I put a TCS Custom Saber Shop one on, and this thing is solid as a rock now. Well, I mean, I swear every day I fix this thing and get it going again, something else breaks. Like, so this emitter, this right side, this just happened literally just now. Now I can throw the whole thing up in the air in a complete like 360 flip. You know, actually it twists around like another 360 while it's in the air, and I can catch it. That's good news, you know. Like, but because this thing is really heavy now, since it doesn't have a mid grade, it's got like a heavy dueling blade on, with more stuff inside of it than it had in the first place, and I think it's got an even heavier piece of foam because I used Master Replica foam on it. These emitters, I've been meaning. First off, this one broke off like a week ago. It straight up broke off. I was playing with it down in my workshop, and like I just twisted around and I wasn't hitting anything hard at all, and these quillions, just the blade of it, the blade, not the quillion, the blade got caught on a piece of like a room divider, like wicker thing, and it tore off this thing completely. You can kind of see the little gap right there. The threading got pulled completely out. It looked nasty. I was kind of like, oh no, what did I do? Is this not going to go back on? And sure enough, it wouldn't go back on. Well, at least not how it came off. It bent threading completely, like for good. So I can never like screw it on all the way and never have it be straight when it's screwed on all the way. Right now it's pretty much straight, but it's not screwed on all the way. I reheat stained these things too. I took them off all the way since I had to take that one off. And I got a lot better of a heat stain. I mean, it was my first time doing it. Well, not my first time. First time doing it on a saber. I mean, I'd taken a torch to things and to see what it does before. The rest of it, I repainted it from the day I got it. So it's been repainted. Well, it's been repainted once, I would say, altogether. But I mean, I repainted. There's probably like 3 paint days because I wanted to thicken up right here. With these things, you could barely even see them, so I painted them in gold before I painted anything and before I did the primer or anything to thicken it up. Same thing with down here, and then I painted it and clear coated it and stuff with diamond clear coat from Eastwood. The paint job, I like it. It's weathered. Honestly, most of the weathering is actually from using it. This clip down here is way smaller than it looks. The saber's not smaller than it looks as far as size from here to here. It's actually almost the same size as my Parks 2.0 crossguard, from top to bottom. Cross 2. I actually have the Parks right here. So let's see. So the Parks. All right, first I gotta say the Parks. Other than its horrible design with this door that sucks, it's the worst thing ever. this thing is pretty much like it's completely like indestructible. I mean, I've taken this thing, I've thrown this thing in the air, and it's came down hard. And this thing, you cannot break it. Oh, well, you can break it plenty. Like, so this whole shroud around here, I got a piece down here, but this whole thing's been broken right here, 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 here. Yeah, it's been broken about 5 times around the shroud right there. This busted one time, and it kind of twisted the whole, like, the top frame part. I never got around to, like, finishing it. Well, I mean, I installed it, like, 2-3 times. Just never got the Profi installed on it. Like I did get it installed and I got it working, but the wires were too thick and I ended up botching something after that. And it might still work, I don't know, but I ended up getting this thing in the meantime because it was such a good deal. So now if you look at the sizes, they're almost the same size. Now it's deceptive. It's really deceptive because if you see, I were to put this over it, it's still deceptive. It's really hard to, that makes the one look bigger because it's in front of the other one. But so pretty much the quillion sizes, that's where you get the big difference. That and the main body right here, and this is a little thinner right here. But the clip is way smaller on this. It looks like it's, you know, from outside it looks legit. This one looks beat up and mangled and stuff. It is. But the size seems about right. This size is really small and it's really cheaply made, this part, because it's already bent. I mean, I had it on a clip for like one time. I had to take all the screws. I replaced all the screws for the most part. Not this like set screws right here, but I replaced the screws right here with ones I got from the hardware store that were like American made steel. Didn't replace these yet, but I did take out the little block there for now until I tap a new clip thing into it, because I'm not going to use this clip for functional, and it was just getting in my way as far as the hand goes. Now on the back, what do we got? On the quillions too, I tried to get them to light up better, and they light up better with this white, but I gotta just shorten these things, period. Probably just ditch these because they're just acrylic and they break. I'm just gonna use the ones from here that I have set up in like a special like glue setting on it. They look really dope. I just gotta get them to fit in here and push on the pins the right way, because those things are really short. They're nubby. They'll be just boom, like right as long as this thing is. That's it. But they'll look like really fat, like they're popping out. This thing right here was really freaking high. Like this one was higher than freaking Rob Van Dam at Hardcore Heaven 97. I took it down substantially. I gotta say it was up to probably like here, and there was no curve on this. Like there might have been an edge. The whole thing had edges on it like crazy, to where my hands are still like cut up from it. I have pairs of gloves that are just torn up, leather gloves from it. So that's one thing I had to do like immediately. Also with the screws, like down here, well, one thing you can notice is there's a weight down there. That's for counterbalancing it, so it's more balanced, because it was so blade heavy and just not right. Now I cut off about 2 to 3 inches of blade. It was a 36-inch blade, which I shouldn't have gotten in the first place. It was way too big. I didn't realize that because they offered it. I figured if it was this size, a 36 would be fine. Well, it wasn't this size, and it wasn't this weight. More importantly, it was a lighter weight, probably better quality steel, just lighter weight. And yeah, so it ended up I needed to cut the blade, so I had to. It's a pixel stick, so I cut it. I don't know. I probably cut 10 LEDs off it. I need to reconfigure it anyway. But really, I'm not seeing any difference. I'm still getting the tip drag and stuff like that, and all that stuff. Let's see, what else did I do? Oh yeah, so this and the engine are permanently in. Well, not permanently, semi-permanently. I put Loctite on all the screws, and when I say Loctite, I mean I use nail polish because it works just as good as Loctite for the most part. And it was on hand, and I use that on all the screws, even set screws, just a little bit, just a little tiny dab of it. Let's see, what else did I do? I mean, I stripped apart this whole thing. I mean, even these things I tried to maybe pop out more. These things I got to really pop out more, because those didn't pop out at all. All these little things are grinded down. I probably need to grind them down more, Same thing with right here is ground down a little bit more, just because it was off. It just wasn't on right. Now, like from the outside looks of it, it looks like everything's proportioned. It's just there's tiny things that are here and there that are just off. That kind of got to me that I couldn't even, like, the first day I had it, I was just like, crap, I gotta tear this thing apart. The first thing was the quillions. I mean, everyone sees those and they make it look like trash. I mean, it's not a trash saber. Like, this is a metal engine right here. I weathered that a little bit more. I added chrome to it, then I weathered it, and then it got weathered just by regular weathering it. There's no wire on it. I did have I put an EL wire on it. I was able to bore out the holes just enough to where if I stretched the EL wire enough, I was able to get it through them. But right here, I had a magnet hooking it up, but it wasn't the most efficient thing. It's a tiny little magnet, like the size of the ones that would keep the door open on the other one, or the door shut on the other one. So one of them came off last night, so I took all 4 of them off. I figured I'm going to bore them out more so I can easily put the wire through, or a little bit easier, just so it glides through, so I can at least maybe right here be able to pull it down from here. I'd like to be able to use my 3D printer, but I've never been able to use it other than one time, like 7 months ago, the first time I ever tried it. And I have like all the files for the saber clip, for the clips for here and stuff. I have all of them all ready to go print. I can print them up and I can put them on here, but I can't figure out how to use my printer. I still have to figure out how to configure a Profi board, which is going to be a pain. I mean, I've been working on it, but so much stuff. And then constantly fixing this thing is I've been constantly fixing it. So the main blade's working great now. I mean, this thing is awesome. It's fantastic. Especially now I put the custom saber shop one in. You can't tell on the video, but both in real life and on video, this looks way better with the custom saber shop one. Because you were getting to look more like that, and now you're getting to look more like this, where it actually looks like fire on video, which is amazing. It did not look like this before. The blade is going all the way to the tip. There's a little bit of foam in the tip to stop the blade, so the wires don't get pulled out from the bottom part where the connector is. Let's see what else. So when I wrapped it, I did a layer of mylar, or it may have been stuff from Ultra Sabers, not sure. It may have just been like this giant roll of mylar I got. Then I did a real tight wrap around the pixie stick, and then I inserted that into the foam tube, and then I had the foam tube already wrapped with just one thin layer of clear, like cellophane or whatever, carbon film. But I ended up taking that off when I rewrapped the inside of the stick yesterday, because the stick, the solder spots, they broke off. Yeah, the solder spots. If you use this thing at all, you're gonna bust the solders on a lot of the things. Like, these things are gonna bust. Sorry, they're gonna bust. The little pads on them, they're gonna bust off. They're gonna just break off. They're gonna fall off. Honestly, you're gonna get wear inside of here, where the wires are, where they meet, because the wires are just kind of sitting exposed inside of here. Those are gonna start getting wear on them when you take the blade in and out a lot. So, I mean, I've only had this for like 2 weeks, I think, 3 weeks, maybe a month. I don't know. It seems like it's been 2 weeks because I've been working on it every single day, and I haven't gotten it up and running, like working order nonstop, till I guess today, like just this morning, and then boom, this happens. Awesome. Well, at least it's not as hard to fix. If I want to just fix it to put it back on, I could just super glue and baking soda it, and it'll be on just as it was, probably stronger. But I gotta grind these things down, or I bored them out, so I could actually put the light out to here right now, I think, or right there. Right now it only goes to here, but I'd have to like grind down this whole part, and I'm just wondering if it's better just to grind this down, because I know getting this smooth and getting this part good is probably the harder part than getting this all jagged. I mean, I sharpened these accidentally, and they're really sharp now. They will stab somebody. They just are stabbing me just holding it. So it's very sharp. It's not sharp anymore. You can see through on the engine. You can see the carpet. So that's cool. Top part's blackened, different blue wire. It came with silicone coated wire for the main one, and for these. For the main one, I was like, sweet. I got because I have been meaning to get silicone coated wire, and it's like, I think 22 gauge or something. So I'm like, sweet. Even a small piece, like, Needed that just for a couple things, and yeah, so this is it so far. I was gonna make a complete, reveal video. Well, I did a reveal video. I don't know if anybody saw it, but I was gonna, make a review video when it was completely done. But then this crap happened today, just now, and I was like, man, okay, well, so I'll make a video right now, and I don't know when I'm gonna post this. If I post it on YouTube or what I'm supposed to do with it, but yeah. So this is KJ, Dark Prince Designs, signing out. You can find me on the Knights Are In Facebook group. I think it's under KJ Elitist. If you see KJ, there's only one of me. So if the last name changes because I don't want Facebook to keep on, keeping tabs on me or whatever, and trying to have their algorithms stalk me or whatever because they're shady. That's what it is. Yeah, but as far as like its weight goes right now, I'm maybe about weighted right there at my balance point, which isn't terrible. It's like I'm just wondering if I make the quillion smaller, what's it going to do with the weight. I'm not really worried about it because it's got a nice flow to it. It's a little heavy, but it's not too bad. It's not that bad at all, honestly, to tell you the truth. I mean, the other one with a heavy blade, it's almost just as heavy. It's actually, it's heavier. The 2.0 is heavier in the first place. It is heavier. It's also heavier duty, but the thing is the door won't stay shut. It's like I'd have to always strap it down with a strap. I mean, I could do cool tricks with it. I never had to worry about it breaking because it just wouldn't break. The thing wouldn't break. It was also in hilt, but it wouldn't break. It's like I could chuck this thing in a wall. It wouldn't break. This thing, not as, I mean, it's made out of like actual, I think, steel or whatever. This is made out of aluminum. Big difference there. This is really roundish in all its spots. Also, the quillions on this, you look at them, they just look jank. And I even like grinded them down a bunch. I mean, these things are ground down and sharpened and stuff. They're bored out. There is a single LED in them with no heat sink in the back, and I never needed one. And I don't know why anyone would need one with a single, maybe with a tri, but I found that when I bored it out, I'd put a heat shrink around it, like a heavy duty one, and they just glide right in. I'd maybe put like a little bit of, honestly, I like spit in there, and it worked. I just put that in. And I got the wires in the inside of this going down. Yeah, I got that all down and all that stuff. There's no main in there right now. This thing, I just cannibalized it again to use a lot of the parts for there. I even had this cool thing where I had the secondary switch was actually the screw right here. And I know these ones don't line up because there were no screws that came with it right here. They were inside of here. They were just set screws. So I changed them to Allen ones, and I made this one matching, but I grinded down the inside of it, and I made it to where this would be a button and this would be a button. So because I like the buttons better here, because right here I'm touching it like it's only got one button on that one, but I'm touching it way too much and it's getting in my way. And I could spin this thing around in the same exact spot would be where this button would be on this one, but it's stationary right now as a screw, that button. So I don't know how I would do that. It would also make the board and the battery straight on the inside, because right now they're cockeyed, and they've been like that since they got it, and I can't stand that because it doesn't give me the right, it's not giving me what I should be getting as far as like when I'm at a certain angle. It wants me to be at a tilted angle. Other than that, it can't just be straight to the side or straight up and down because it's got to be flattened out or whatever. Yeah, that kind of gets me. I mean, if you're gonna spend $500 on it from Johnny, I mean, I can't say anything bad about him, and 500 is I mean, it's not bad for it at all. I mean, it's 700 to get a Phoenix Props V3, I think, or it's going to be around 700. I mean, to get a Phoenix Props V2, it's like 700. To get a crossguard, it's like 500. And those are just for the hilt. This one's got the board already in it. It comes with your blade. Of course, you pretty much switch the blade out. But it does come with the pixel stick, so that's not the pixel strips. That's the stick. So I've never had a NeoPixel except for this, and I have the stick. So I skipped over those strips that everyone was using for years. Thank God. I would have had a nightmare with them. I would have broken them. I would have messed them up right away. These sticks are so easy. They're so good with colors. You can't figure out where the edges of them are or anything like that. So that was a really easy curve. I'm glad I was able to. I unknowingly ended up with that. So that's a good deal. The pads on them, I would say swap them out. Like I almost want to switch these pads on the inside where the pins are to shock ones, just because they have the light on them, and they're probably more sturdy. Honestly, they're about sturdiness. It's like this thing is a good saber, as far as like, if it's a good saber as it is. You just need to do work with it. If you're not doing work with it and you're just going to carry it around like once now and then, you're still going to rip your gloves off. Like that's just going to happen. Sorry, it's going to happen unless you do the work. So when you get this, look at it like a blank saber. Don't look at it like a painted saber. And yeah, you pretty much got to swap out all the screws, because the screws that comes are cheap, and they're going to strip right away. Even if you get a 32 blade, they're going to strip right away. They're going to strip right away. It's going to happen because the inside going to be wobbly with the foam. There's no other diffusers in there stopping it from being wobbly. And then the blade itself is probably going to be wobbly. I've heard stories about it. They don't fit in them. Even holding the blades next to each other, I had I want to say Ultra Saber or Saber Forge, heavy duty one with the screw top, which I was trying to use with this one because this one had a screw top originally, and it does now, but it's glued in there with baking soda and super glue, so that thing ain't coming out ever. And then this one was from Custom Saber Shop. I only know that's the other one was Ultra Saber, whatever, because I traded a magic card for it. I didn't actually buy the Ultra Saber. And looking at them from looks and stuff, even with the film inside, they pretty much look the same, except for the mid-grade one that this came with. It's very white when it has everything in it. I sanded it down, all that. It was still giving me that popcorn look too much. It was still too toy feeling, and it just wasn't. And it was getting wobbly. It was wobbly as crap. I thought this was wobbly at first. Then I thought this chamber over here was wobbly. Then I thought it was the ring. Then I thought, I tapped these screws in the wrong spot, and none of those were the problem. None of those were the problem at all. Not these screws, not the one screw in back, nothing down here, not this part. It was all right here because the blade was too small. The blade was not a 1-inch OD. It was like 0.98, 0.99, just small enough to where it'd be a pain in the ass for you to have it in there and be swinging it around without it constantly coming loose. And even when it comes loose, you can't tighten it, because once you tighten it too much, the blade is such a weaker quality. Even though it's almost the same weight, it's not quite the same weight, but it's not really like a mid-grade like you get from Custom Saber Shop. It's like a thicker mid-grade than that. It's weird. But it's just, it bends. When you put pressure on it from two screws, it bends. If you put pressure on it from one screw, it bends. So, and also there's tons of glue in the head and in the bottom of it. When you get it, there's tons of super hot glue. So when you're trying to use a heat gun to get those parts off, it's a pain in the ass. Like the first cap I had on there, it's just grinded the crap. I probably could have used it. It probably would have been better because it wouldn't touch as many wires. But I just wanted something that was going to be even and look nicer. So I put the one back in that was on the blade plug that came with it. But it took me I swear 2 days to get the thing off, because it was just, I would heat it with a heat gun, and I knew there was glue in there. But it's like, if you don't get it and start moving it right away, even if you do, that glue's gonna come up, and once it sticks, and you're just up the creek. And you got to just keep going. That's why the head of it looks a little orangish, because, well, it had some heating to it. It had plenty of heating, and then it had sanding, and now it's flush with it, but it's got a low color, which I'm fine with. But these quillions got to go, especially since this one broke. They got to be shorter. It's also hitting on my forearm right here. So yeah, right there. So when I come up with it, and I'm going so if I have it held like this, and I'm coming right about here, right like that. See how it hits right there? All I need is to change it down to here. If it's right here, that moves. That little bit of difference, right here, boom, right again, hitting right there. So if it's cut down just a little bit to where the end of the light is, I can go through all of it. And I'm not going to get stuck on here, and I'm not going to break my blades. I'm not going to break my quillion. It's not going to happen. So There you go, everybody. It's 25 minutes. This is not meant to be a review, but I guess it is a review. We'll call it the Mark 1 review, I guess, for all you Marks out there. Yeah, all right, so, yeah, KJ, Prince Parma, Dark Prince Design signing out. Later.